Welcome to this series on the Cities Skylines Map Editor, where we're creating a custom map for a future Let's Play. Now, before I get stuck in, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. Because the main feature of this part is going to be roads, but first I want to talk about, you can see here, if you've looked at the previous episodes, you would notice there's been quite a major change in this area, in the sense that the beach has gone here, the lake's a different shape, and the banks are a lot higher up around this area. Now, I've had a little bit of a headache here trying to, how can you say, balance the river here, because this river has been created to support a dam up around here. So it has kind of two characters. The current character where it's flowing away nice and steadily, just speed up a bit, and it's working well, it's stable, and the lake is basically compensating for the surges down here. And the second character is once you build a dam here which alters the flow of the river and creates more pulses. And what I've actually done is I've spent quite a lot of time trying to balance the river in both modes. That's why it looks a bit different in the sense of there. And I've learned a couple of key points which I want to kind of explain to you. And the first one's, well, the first two actually are more to do with the general principle of working with water. Now, the first number one tip is definitely patience. If you make a change, you will disturb the water. It's very realistic, but it's slightly viscous. And because it is viscous, it means that if you make a change, what I'll do is I'll make a major change. Just to illustrate the point, I'll just make the brush a bit bigger. If I kind of do this in the middle, you will see the way the water kind of surges up. And even if you do a relatively small change, that takes a little while to settle down. It may appear to settle down very quickly, but there's back pressures and stuff like that which pushes back, and it has an effect downstream. You can see it's having some effects already. And so whenever you make changes in a river, you've got to give it time to settle down, and more importantly also do a Control Z and take it out again. It takes time. You can see the surge coming through. Now that surge will flow all the way down there, so it takes time for water to settle down to give you the full, how can you say, impression of what it's actually going to do. So the best thing to do is when you're working with water is make small changes, wait for the water to settle down. If you do a fairly substantial change, the best way to do it is make a change, then go off and work on another part of the map for about 5 or 10 minutes. Do a bit of terrain working over here or something, then come back to it. And what will happen is the water will settle down. And that's the first tip. The second tip is that if you're working and it goes wrong, it always pays to have a save game backup. So if you're going to make a major change to a river, make a backup, save it, and then what you can do then is if you decide that what you've done isn't working, you can then go there, reload the map, and you get back to this stable water situation, so you can try something different. So that's the kind of second tip that I wanted to mention about. But what I'm going to do now is just talk about what I've done here. And it took a long time, a lot of fiddling and changing. And what I actually had to do in the end is there's actually a water source here tucked into this corner. This is kind of why the lake shaped the way it is. And what it actually does, it isn't there so much to add water. What it's actually there to do is to stabilize the level in this lake. So what actually happens is it holds the level of the lake, and then if you get a surge come down here, if I click on here and show you the flow, this island pushes the flow into the here. If the lake starts to rise, what actually happens is that the source turns into a sink. You can see it now. It's kind of acting as a semi-sink, and it keeps the water in balance. Now, in the normal map mode, that it doesn't do very much, but when you build a dam up here, two things happen. First, there's no water comes down here, meaning that the riverbed starts to dry out, and that will have repercussions if someone's built water pumps down in this part of the river. So having a sink source here means that what happens is, as this part of the river dries up, the source takes over to keep the flow going down the river here, which keeps the river consistent. And then the other thing also is, when you first build a dam and it first opens, you get quite substantial surges come down here, which is another reason why these banks are built up a bit, and then you get flooding. And what actually happens is that the source here absorbs these surges while the dam is settling down. Even once dams have settled down, they never completely settle down. They fluctuate, so you get pulses of water coming down here, and the source just kind of sucks up that thing, reduces the effect, so that you don't get waves, surges coming down this way here. So that's some pretty good way to do it, but I will reiterate, when you work with water, certainly use a lot of patience. Now, if you've been following the series, you will notice this railway line has changed. It was over here. The reason it's been moved is I was showing this map to a friend, not online. It was actually, they were looking over my shoulder. They came round and we were talking, and they kind of pointed out that there's no point me having a railway line over here, because someone would have to buy 2 squares to be able to use it, and it makes more sense for to have the railway line tucked in here, so that someone can buy this square and then be able to bring the railway in from this side. So that's another point. And now we're going to get onto the main focus of this part, which is building roads. Now, I know building roads is going to take some time and a lot of fiddling about, so there's probably going to be a lot of time lapsing in this video, and maybe I might edit out some of the more kind of longer pieces. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make kind of connection out this way, just following the flow of the map, maybe one out this way, across here somewhere, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So we're going to start off by just kind of laying out the main direction. I must admit, when I'm just kind of doing the broad brushstroke work, I like to use the freeform tool. Now, I don't particularly want to do a straight road, so I'm kind of inclined to do here is just kind of come over maybe like that. And then see if we can get a nice double bridge here. I think another kind of good tip when you're laying in highways like this is, you're going to build a bridge, try and, because obviously they're going to be side by side, so no good, no good, no good, is kind of put the bridges in probably about the best I'm going to get here. Slightly out of sync, but I think we can live with that. I can always adjust it again afterwards. And what we're going to do now is just, I'm aiming for about there, so if I kind of curve in, maybe we can go straight actually. Oh, I don't think that, maybe we'll just curve that a little bit there. Except for maybe when the Romans built roads. Roads are very rarely straight. They may appear straight, but they're not, in reality they're not totally straight. What I'm going to do now is kind of come out here, and now that's that way there. What we're going to do is come in the other way now. You can't, if you try and go off that, it will always give it. So when you make a road edge, you've got to kind of come in like this, just to get the direction right, and then once you've got it in like this, you can do it. Just going to during this stage, I've obviously got a little bit of a issue there. I mean, I will straighten this up, but I will probably do most of that off camera. I mean, the purpose of this kind of part will be just lay in the main structure to give you guys an idea of where I'm coming from. And we'll just put it in nice and close like that. Across like this. So if it gets too kind of long, I will kind of reduce these sessions, time lapse them. Oh, that's gone okay. Now that kind of lays the connection out that way. Now I want to lay a road out this way. I want it to kind of come down again through this tile here. Now I could move the railway up a bit, but I'm quite happy to let's break a connection here, I think. So I'm just going to maybe just cut through here into this section here. And we'll just up maybe we need to take things out a bit more. And we'll just try and maybe we're just drop it in like that. Smidge more. Up a bit. I think that'll do. So what we can do then is go back to the road. Let's do that. Just nip off these bits here, and again we're going to put the road in like that. Come over here, just nip off these bits here. Again we'll tidy this up off camera. Whoops, just easy. Well, that's okay. So we've now got this road here, and where's it going to go? Where are we going to go? Come aim for about here. Maybe we'll come across here. Don't really want to clip the corner of that square, so right, we're just going to. This is so maybe if we're I don't particularly want, maybe if we just curve this up like that, come down close to the river, that's a flat one, so we're kind of taking out like that. Get into oh, let's take it off the bottom here. I don't really know if there's any advantage to having a road going off each side, whether it increases traffic. I mean, if any of you know, we much appreciate. I must admit, I'm not that kind of associated with kind of the detailed underlying mechanics of the game. You know, I'm not a kind of numbers type person. I know what works and I know what I like, but I don't actually kind of get really into all the formulas and exactly the detailed mechanics of the game. Not that it'd be awful. So I have to tidy this up. I think I've kind of lost the pace a bit here. I have to go back over that, but I will do that off camera. I'm very much aware that I'm just gonna kind of probably have a bit more attention to the road here. Just kind of that's it there. First seems a bit empty over here. Maybe we should. But there's kind of like a natural valley thing there, so maybe put something in here. Maybe a bit through here. Yeah, well, this is what's putting roads out. Kind of follow your instinct, so maybe we'll just drop a road in about there. Just then we can kind of. So I think when you're just laying these roads out to start with, it's better just to get a feel for where you want the road to go, and then start work on the actual making them look neat and tidy. So we're just going to kind of see if we can get over the railway here. It's probably where it's going to get a little bit messy. Just bit probably fairly short, and then maybe that's just a not. Maybe a curve tool might work better this time. A proper curve tool. And go a bit straight. I can use a straight tool. Maybe that's not quite so good. Cut that back a bit. Just kind of curve the road in here. Just taking it through. I will smooth these sections of road out. Just going to kind of go up a bit. Oops. Down a bit. Bit of a mess, isn't it? Complete and utter mess. Come out. Come up a bit earlier. better. Come down like that. Just trim this bit back here. Just leave it the way it is, about straight. Come to about there. Go up and across. Down. Oh, that looks nice. That's starting to get there. This is not straight, so we'll have to tidy that up a bit. Just click that in there. So, what do you think, guys? Got a little bit of work to do tidying up, so but I think I will probably do that off camera. So we've now got 4 external connections. Kind of got this bit here. Maybe this needs a bit of work. Maybe I should that. I don't know. I don't want a tight curve there, so maybe a sweeping curve there will do. So this obviously needs a bit of TLC blending in, so we're just gonna probably use quite a strong brush here. Maybe make the brush size a bit stronger. Just blend this bit in here, so it doesn't look like there's a scar on the landscape. I mean the roads kind of fix the position, so and over here anything. I mean obviously there's gonna have to tidy this area up a little bit. That kind of curves in maybe there. Don't really like that kind of kink there, so I think we'll just take that out. Take the actual connection out completely, I think. Just connect it like that. I think we can live with that slightly raised section there, because you've got to bear in mind that the view's going to be from here or here. So yep, I'm quite happy with that. Now I'm aware that I might be rambling on a little bit, so as I say, I will do most of the tidying up off camera. It's basically, I'll give you an example of what I'll be doing. So like here, we've got a, you can see it kinks off of here a bit. See where it's actually, see the bit there. So what we're going to be doing is just taking these sections out like this, and just now I must admit I do like the curve tools. So this kind of maybe about there and there. That kind of gives it a. And I think once you've got the main structure in, see, what you can do is you can kind of take the road back to front, because you've got the reverse direction tool here, so you can then kind of just do this. You get the direction going in the right direction. Seem to have lost the my sense of direction here. See, that's kind of tailed in a little bit. Maybe here, this is a little bit too straight. So maybe we take this off a bit. Again, I must admit I do like the maybe we actually need to come off this bridge a little bit straight for shortness. Same here. So that bridge is a bit crooked. What we'll do then is just take this curve and come the other way. Like that. just put that in like that. First that direction, and see there's still a little bit of a kink there. So what you do is you just take a section out like that, then you come back, you grab the road again, I say again, form, and see, then just do this. Still not perfect, still a bit kinky. As I say, it takes time, and so we got. You got to be a bit careful because, like here, it's slightly visual, in the sense that got depression there, but it's still not ideal. So I think what we'll do, we'll take this back here, strike this off here. You can see that's kind of. Still needs a bit more work. But anyway, that gives you an idea, guys, on what I'm going to be doing, just to keep the road going. It's a question of just fiddling about, getting it there, working it together. Eventually, we get the roads together, and I think that's enough of what needs to be done. I hope you've enjoyed the tips on the river and the road here. Now we've now got something that's worth looking at, and the roads kind of come together. It's well laid out. Now, I probably might adjust them a little bit and fiddle them, so which is the nature of working with a map editor. So hope this has been useful, and we're now very, very close. I mean, obviously the next bit is we're going to start working on putting some trees down, final details, resources, which will, the next part will probably be trees. So hope you've enjoyed this episode, and like and subscribe, and until the next time,